the shocking Jinx ritual Jin tried to hide, and why Jungkook's confession has fans wondering what else BTS has kept secret all these years. Have you ever wondered what truly happens behind the curtains of the world's biggest boy group right before they step on stage? What if one unexpected confession from Jungkook has just cracked open a door that BTS never meant for fans to open? And what if Jin's Jinx ritual, once treated like an innocent joke, turns out to be just one piece of a much larger secret puzzle the members never intended to reveal? Tonight, millions of fans around the world are asking one question: if Jin's gaming ritual was real all along, what other hidden habits have BTS been keeping under wraps for years? This impossible-to-ignore question exploded across global social media after Jungkook, freshly discharged from military service and glowing with the warmth of newfound freedom, casually dropped a revelation so shocking, so bizarre, and so unexpectedly intimate that it instantly set the entire fandom into investigative mode. It wasn't part of a scripted interview. It wasn't a planned PR moment. It wasn't a teaser. It was just Jungkook, laughing, unfiltered, and dangerously honest, telling a story that may have opened Pandora's box. The moment happened in a simple 20-second viral clip posted on X by the fanbase account @collector. In the video, Jungkook was seated next to actor Kim Youngdae in what looked like a dimming gaming studio, the two of them laughing so hard the camera shook. Jungkook wore a dazzling silver jacket, catching every stray beam of studio light, while in his hand rested an unmistakable purple Nintendo Switch controller, the exact shade that instantly triggers ARMY nostalgia. Beside him, Kim Youngdae lounged in a black suit adorned with a long silver chain that swung slightly every time he burst into laughter. And then Jungkook said it, the confession that set the fandom ablaze. He leaned back, laughed, and announced, "It's a Jinx now." If Jin doesn't play a game before going on stage, his voice cracks. Total disaster. Kim Youngdae nearly choked laughing. Someone in the background, represented in the transcript as J-Hope, jolted in disbelief and exclaimed, "Why would you say that?" The emojis that followed in the transcript only fueled the hilarity. But the fans weren't laughing for long, because as harmless as the story sounded on the surface, it carried a weight that no one fully grasped in the first few seconds of the clip. This wasn't just a funny anecdote. This was a member of BTS openly admitting that Jin performed a ritual, habitual, consistent, superstitious, to avoid catastrophe on stage. A ritual so essential that skipping it would ruin his voice. And if that ritual existed, what else did? It wasn't long before ARMY went from laughing to investigating. Fans immediately began digging through years of concert behind-the-scenes clips, run BTS episodes, and Bangtan bombs, searching for patterns that suddenly made sense only after this revelation. Does Jin really always hold a console before a show? Was that switch in the 2019 muster rehearsal not just for fun? Did his voice really crack during the one time he didn't warm up with a game? More importantly, if Jin had a ritual this oddly specific, what were the other members hiding? And why did Jungkook sound like he had more to say but stopped himself? From that point forward, the clip didn't just go viral. It spread like wildfire, picking up more than 6,000 likes and 1,000 reposts within hours. The hashtags #JinJinx, #JungkookSpills, and #BTSSecrets began trending worldwide, each one spiraling into deeper speculation. Some fans argued it was harmless superstition. Others insisted Jungkook had accidentally exposed an internal rule that BTS had kept private for years. And some, in typical ARMY fashion, zoomed in frame by frame, analyzing Jin's behavior in old footage with the precision of forensic investigators. One fan wrote, "If Jin has a gaming ritual, then what about Jimin's stretching pattern? What about RM pacing backstage? What about Suga disappearing for 5 minutes before every performance? We need answers." Another commented, "I always knew Jin playing Mario Kart before concerts meant something. I knew it." And then came the most unsettling question of all, one that hung in the air like a storm waiting to break. If this was the ritual Jungkook was willing to reveal, what about the ones he wasn't? The clip's impact grew even deeper because of who Jungkook was sharing the moment with. Kim Youngdae, fresh off his hit drama Dear Ex, wasn't familiar with BTS's long-running lore. His sincere amusement at Jungkook's story made the moment feel real, unscripted, and dangerously candid. It wasn't a typical idol interview. It was two celebrities casually chatting, unaware that one offhand confession would ignite a global investigation. The setting itself added fuel to the fire. The black curtain studio, the gaming setup, the casual energy, everything looked like a hybrid between a relaxed talk show and a personal hangout session, giving fans the illusion of seeing something they weren't supposed to see. And now here we are, hours after the clip broke the internet, left with questions that grow heavier with every replay. Why did Jungkook say it so casually? Why didn't he stop himself? Was this something the members always joked about behind the scenes? Was Jin okay with this? Going public, did the other members have rituals too? One's more bizarre than Jin's gaming Jinx. And the biggest question of all, did Jungkook just make the world realize that BTS's most iconic performances may have been shaped by habits nobody outside their inner circle ever knew existed? As ARMY continues dissecting footage and piecing together clues, the mystery only deepens. Every small detail from past performances suddenly looks meaningful. Every backstage laugh looks like a hint. Every unexplained moment, every odd expression, every sudden disappearance, every item a member clutched right before a show feels like potential evidence in a puzzle that was never meant to be solved. Because if Jin had a L1 and L3 failure Jinx, as Jungkook joked, and if even Kim Youngdae couldn't keep a straight face hearing it, then what else has BTS been doing all these years to protect their performances from disasters only they knew could happen? And perhaps the most thrilling, terrifying, exciting possibility for fans is this. What if Jungkook hasn't told the full story yet, but here is where everything becomes even more intriguing? Because as the video continued to circulate and millions of eyes began dissecting every second of Jungkook's laughter-filled confession, an unexpected shift happened in the global conversation. What initially began as a cute, harmless revelation about Jin's pre-concert, gaming Jinx slowly took on a deeper, more mysterious tone. Fans weren't just amused anymore. They were curious. They were alert. They were suspicious, playfully at first, then intensely, as if Jungkook had triggered a memory they never realized they had. Soon, ARMY accounts across X began posting old clips, grainy backstage footage, Bangtan bomb snippets, behind-the-scenes logs, moments fans had watched 1,000 times before but never with this new context. Suddenly, every frame looked different. Every detail seemed deliberate. And every second felt like a clue point. One user posted a clip from the 2020 map of the Seoul rehearsal where Jin was spotted sitting quietly with a controller in his lap just minutes before their run-through. At the time, fans assumed he was simply relaxing. But now, that footage resurfaced with captions like, "Was this the ritual?" Another fan uploaded a Bangtan bomb from 2017 where Jin appeared seemingly irritated after someone unplugged a console during soundcheck. Was this why his voice cracked that night? One comment read, half joking but half dead serious. Even interviews long forgotten were suddenly under scrutiny. One eagle-eyed fan dug up an old-run BTS episode where Jin offhandedly joked, "If I don't warm up my hands, my voice acts weird." At the time, it sounded like classic Jin humor. But now, fans connected the dots. Warming up his hands using a gaming console, holding a controller, reflex training vocal warm-up? Was it a joke, or was it an actual coded confession? In mere hours, an entirely new BTS lore had been born, the hidden ritual theory. There was something undeniably thrilling about the discovery. ARMY has always enjoyed decoding Bangtan's deeper symbolism, album storylines, webtoon connections, music video universes, but this was something completely different. This wasn't fiction. This wasn't a concept. This wasn't an art project. This was real-life behavior. Actual habits the members developed over a decade of performing on the world's largest stages. Habits they seemingly never expected fans to discover. And the person who accidentally dropped the first breadcrumb, Jungkook, the Golden Magne, the member most known for being honest to a fault. What made the situation even more fascinating was how naturally the confession slipped out of him. He wasn't reading from a cue card. He wasn't prepared. His guard wasn't up. Jungkook was simply enjoying the moment, laughing with Kim Young-dae, riding the energy of the studio, and talking like a friend reminiscing about inside jokes only insiders were supposed to know. But the world was watching. IT was the kind of moment every journalist dreams about. An unscripted confession revealing something human, something unexpected, something that pulls fans deeper into the mythology of a group already overflowing with mystery and charm. Yet as the clip spread, one odd detail began to bother viewers. Jungkook's tone shifted for just a second, barely noticeable, almost too quick to catch, when he said the words, "It's a Jinx now." The way he emphasized now, the slight hesitation before the sentence, the knowing look in his eyes, the moment the laughter died for half a breath, IT made the world wonder, was this ritual something that evolved naturally? Or was it something the members collectively acknowledged behind the scenes? Because the more the fans looked, the more they found a compilation began gaining traction online titled BTS Rituals You Never Noticed, showing subtle behaviors repeated across years. RM pacing in circles before major performances. Suga disappearing with his water bottle exactly 3 minutes before walking on stage. Jimin doing shoulder rotations in a specific order. Left, right, both, chest, every single time. J-Hope tapping his mic 3 times before the lights went down. V humming the same phrase under his breath during rehearsals. Jungkook cracking his knuckles in a distinct rhythm. IT was like an entirely unseen universe had been hiding in plain sight. And Jin's ritual, the gaming Jinx, was merely the first one confirmed out loud. The entire narrative changed again when a Korean entertainment columnist suggested that Jin's ritual might be rooted not in superstition but in performance psychology. Some singers have mental anchors, she explained. Behaviors that trigger muscle memory, calm nerves, regulate breathing. For Jin, playing a game might set his vocal state. But this explanation only raised another, much juicier question. If these rituals helped BTS deliver flawless performances, did the members intentionally hide them to maintain their mystique? Because it was clear now, Jin's ritual wasn't just a joke. It wasn't just a funny backstage habit. It was a system, a method, a routine so critical that Jungkook described skipping it as a total disaster. That phrase alone, total disaster, was strong enough to make fans uncomfortable. Just how serious was this Jinx? Was there actually a performance where Jin forgot to play a game? Was that the reason behind some rare vocal hiccups in early tours? Did the members talk about it backstage? Was this an open secret among staff? And most importantly, why did Jungkook decide to reveal it now? The energy surrounding the clip shifted dramatically when a former K-pop staffer, who claimed to have worked around BTS during their early years, posted anonymously on a forum. They wrote, "Most idol groups have rituals. Some are so weird you wouldn't believe them." They mentioned that certain rituals were considered sensitive, especially those tied to vocal performance. Though they didn't specifically mention BTS, the implication was enough to send fans spiraling. The comments filled with speculation, some nervous, some amused, some exhilarated. All obsessed. One comment that quickly went viral read, "If Jungkook revealed this on camera, imagine what they hide off camera." Another wrote, "This means Jungkook slipped. This means there's more." By midnight, clips from as far back as 2015 were being rewatched with surgical precision. Fans swore they heard staff members reminding Jin to warm up with your hands. Others claimed they spotted consoles backstage more often than anyone realized. Some even suggested Jin had multiple games associated with different types of performances, depending on whether the setlist included ballads or high-energy tracks. It didn't matter whether these theories were right or wrong. They were compelling. They were addicting. And they made everything BTS did suddenly feel suspiciously interconnected. The wildest part? Jungkook might not have meant any of this to happen. He was simply being Jungkook, transparent, genuine, and blissfully unaware of the hurricane his words could unleash. But now there was no turning back. The fandom had tasted a piece of hidden lore, and they wanted more. The question echoing across the globe now wasn't merely, did Jin really do this? It had evolved into something far more dramatic, far more thrilling, far more consequential for the legacy of BTS. What else has BTS been hiding? Not because they wanted to deceive fans, but because the truth would change the way the world sees them. And just as the world was beginning to settle into the chaos Jungkook unleashed, something else happened. Something that made the entire situation twist into an even stranger shape. A new clip surfaced. The clip that might prove Jin's gaming ritual wasn't the only secret BTS has kept hidden.